So one of the problems of doing a movie channel in which I just generally talk about movies is that it's actually a lot of work. A lot of work has to go into it. I have to watch the movies that I'm going to review. Plus there's a lot of other stuff going on in my life that takes up time. I can't just devote all my time to my channel in that regard. But one of the things about that is that I never get to watch TV series, and I actually have a few on Blu-ray. I've got a few that I've not watched yet. One of them being Gotham. Now, I'm a huge Batman fan, and I have actually seen this first season of Gotham. Yeah, so this has been sat on my shelf. I've got the first 2 seasons. It's been sat on my shelf for a good year or so. And I've still not gotten around to watching it. I almost kind of have to find an excuse to watch it. So I've decided I'm going to review every episode on my channel. Now, I'm sorry to people who don't really want to see that on my channel, who don't care for that on my channel. Don't worry, it's not going to take over. The movie reviews are still going to be coming, but I want to watch my box sets that I've got of TV shows and reviewing them, doing something that I can put on my channel. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. I get to sit down and watch my box set, and I also get to have a video that I can share with you guys on the channel. And hey, if there's any fans out there of Gotham, watch this along with me. I'm going to post an episode each week, every Tuesday. Just keep them coming out on Tuesday. So feel free to watch the series along with me and give me your thoughts on each episode. That's it, really. I'm going to start this episode, obviously, with the first episode, the pilot episode, which I'm going to stick on now. Haven't watched it yet, but yeah, let's stick it on and I'll be back shortly.
Guess what this is? Just tell me, Ed. I want riddles, I'll read the funny pages.
Okay, so I've just finished watching the pilot, and it's been a while since I've seen this. Like I said, I did see it on its initial run, and I think the first time I watched it, I didn't quite appreciate it as much. It's a pretty dense episode, to be honest. There's a lot of information they have to get out, and there's a lot of characters they have to introduce. And I think they do a pretty good job of it, actually. I think, I don't think I gave it enough credit the first time I saw it. I think some of the things that I didn't like about the episode kind of jumped out at me. And I think I let them get in the way of how good of an episode it actually is. I like Gordon a lot, actually. I like the guy that gets to play Gordon. His name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, I mean, he's from the OC. That was the only thing I knew him from before seeing him in this. But I think he's good. I think he's well cast. He suits a young Gordon. Bullock, I really like. I've been a fan of Donald Logue for quite some time, actually. First thing I saw him in was an early episode of The X-Files. Really good episode, actually. Episode called Squeeze, and I've been a fan of him since then, to be honest. I followed his work in ER as well, another TV show. But he tends to be one of these guys who you stick him in a small role in a movie and he does something quite good with it. I think of him in Blade and Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's not a great film, but he still stole the show in any of the scenes that he was in. But yeah, he's great here. Again, perfect casting for Bullock. Some of the things are a bit on the nose for some of the villains. For example, I think they introduce far too many here. Like, we get Selina Kyle Catwoman introduced. We first see her. She's running around on rooftops like a cat. She steals from a lady in the street, and what does she steal? The first thing she steals is a bottle of milk. Obviously, because it alludes to a cat, and it's just a bit on the nose. I don't like how they've called Poison Ivy. Her name should be Pamela Isley. That really is a bit of a bugbear for me, because you're giving her the villain's name, and as well, Edward Nigma. I've always preferred Edward Nashton as the name for the Riddler. I'd prefer if they went with that as a name rather than Enigma. It's a bit Batman Forever. It's a bit Batman and Robin. It kind of suits a 60s style TV show. It doesn't really suit a modern day gritty crime drama. The guy who plays Edward Nigma, again, he's someone I know I do warm to late on in this first season, but here not so much. It's a bit too much, a bit over the top. They lay it on thick with just how much of a nerd he is and the fact that he likes puzzles and things. It's just, yeah, like I say, they're instantly trying to get what we know about these characters injected into them from the very beginning, and it kind of feels a bit too rushed, a bit too fast. You got a whole TV series to develop these characters. You don't really need to go to that point this early on. Barbara Gordon, she doesn't bug me in this pilot episode the way that I know she goes on to. Like I say, that might change as I watch these episodes again for the second time, but I do know that the first time I watched them, yeah, she's a character that I definitely go off pretty quickly. Having Montoya as well, Renee Montoya, in this. Now, in the comic book, she's much, much younger than Gordon. When Gordon's a seasoned commissioner, she is the age that he is now in this show. So, yeah, making her the same age and getting the whole love angle there with Barbara, not so keen. I've got nothing against having a gay character in. I know that Montoya in the comic books is gay. That doesn't bother me, but making it with Barbara, having this history there that wasn't there in the comic books. I mean, there's a lot in this that isn't there in the comic books, but some of it, there are certain liberties I think you can take that don't bother me. Others, not so much. That's one of them that kind of bugs me a bit. Fish Mooney as well, she's all right in this, actually. She's a good bad guy, I think. She's sinister enough, she's threatening enough, and it's good to have a woman who is, the main villain. She's been positioned here as the main villain, along with Falcone. They set up this war that's coming. Fish Mooney wants to take over Falcone's operation, and yeah, it's nice. It's a nice setup. I like that. I like the guy who plays Falcone as well. Just going through these actors really. The kid who plays Bruce Wayne, I think he's a perfect choice as well to play Bruce Wayne. I think he's got the look. I think he just feels right to me. But the standout, I'd say, amongst the cast is Sean Pertwee as Alfred. I love this guy straight away, right off the bat. The attitude he has, some of the things he comes out with that he says to Bruce, and you can tell he's someone of maybe a bit of a military background, which Alfred in the comic books is as well. They've alluded to that in the past, depending on which comic books you read, of course. There's hints of that in places and elsewhere not so much. So if that's the case, this version of Alfred, Sean Pertwee's take on it, to me, rings true. It's a good take. I like it, and he injects humour into proceedings as well. So, yeah, Gordon, Bullock, and Alfred are probably my favourite characters. Just based purely on this pilot episode, but obviously like what I know from later on in the series, as I have seen it before. So yeah, it's a good episode, really solid. Great pilot, really, very dense. Like I say, a lot to get in there. I give it 4 out of 5. I give it 4 bat symbols out of 5. There you go. So that's the pilot episode. Join me again next Tuesday when I will be doing the second episode, which I believe is called Selina Kyle. Yeah, if you have anything you'd like to say about this episode, please do comment below and let me know what that is. Until next time, cracking.